Oh, welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Chris Pajak and I'm joined by Lee Lawler of Newcastle Fans TV. Lee, thank you very much for joining me ahead of the game on Boxing Day at Anfield. How's it
Thank you
going?
very much. Aye, not bad. How are you?
Yeah,
Christmas and
good.
all that.
Good, mate. I'm looking forward to Boxing Day footy. So let's get into it, mate. I want to talk to you about Newcastle United. I think, everybody will know that Newcastle had probably a great November, really. I think Rafa Benitez, I think I'm right in saying, won Manager of the Month for the 3 victories that you got in November, was it?
Yeah, we've had a like I say, it's well documented that we've had a really tough start with 6 of the big guns from the first 8 fixtures. And once we got them out of the way, that's when we knew. And I was pretty confident that we'd pick up points. And yeah, you're right. 3 wins from 3 in November, and we just won last week as well. Got a point at Woodison on the road as well. I know you like that one, don't you, Chris?
Yeah.
Horrible ground. But yeah, we're starting to pick up points, and I think we should be mid-table, whatever happens on and off the field.
Yeah, there's a few points gap now between you and the last relegation place, isn't there? I think you're about 4 points ahead of that now, so you can start to really focus further up the table. Okay, well let's talk a little bit about Newcastle then. Am I right in saying they're still playing this sort of pseudo 3 at the back or 5 at the back, whatever you want to say?
He keeps changing it. He sometimes plays the wing backs and then he'll go back to the 4. But I generally think that will play better. He's found this system, and he found it by injuries as well, with the likes of Lascelles and Shelvey being out. He was forced upon it, and it seems to, funny enough, work out better for him. I think he will go that way against you. It's going to be literally park the bus and just try and shut up shop and frustrate you as much as we possibly can. It's a huge, huge ask to try and keep a clean sheet at Anfield. I think once the first goal goes in, I think that'll be it. He'll probably win away 2-3.
Really, yeah. Wow, that's not good. So, how are Newcastle, faring? Obviously, it was well documented that you say that they had a really tough start to the season. But since then, when they've come up against sort of the bigger sides in the league, how is it just been Rafa doing what Rafa normally does, where he just, as you mentioned, there just tries to frustrate you and maybe get one on the counter attack?
Well, recently the two away wins over Burnley and Huddersfield, we've had under 25% possession.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're still coming away winning games because I think we look so much better away than home because the emphasis is on us to go in and attack teams at home. And this is classic Rafa, as we would say, from being a Newcastle fan, is that he sets up very, very defensively, and he does it superbly, absolutely phenomenally. And there's loads of the players that you could pick, like with goalkeeper Dubravka and Cher and Fernandez, playing brilliantly. But when the emphasis is on us to win, it's a little bit more difficult, and the January transfer window is literally just days away, and we need goals. We don't want to be dragged into that mix, trying to fight off the likes of Southamptons and Burnleys. We want to pull away and finish round about mid-table, get the summer, and just see if we've got a new owner or not, and whether Rafa Benitez signs or not. Look, it's debatable whether he does or not, isn't it?
And what are the fans feeling about Rafa Benitez at the moment? Do they still want him to be in charge of Newcastle?
Well, Scouse as yourselves, we absolutely love Rafa Benitez. He still lives there in the Wirral. He's committed, he drives, and it's a good 3-hour drive, so he absolutely I think he's well loved at Liverpool, and he loves the club back, and it's similar. The purse strings are so tight, we just haven't got any money to go and buy, which is a real shame, and we love him up here. Since Bobby was at manager, we haven't really had anyone who has had that aura around the place. And he's still loved. And yes, when we had a bit of bad form, there was an odd daft idiot saying Rafa out, but you're talking 1 in 1,000 people. We're always saying Newcastle's potential. I mean, how many times fans and media go on and say Newcastle potential, but they need to fulfill that potential. And as soon as we get Ashley out, as you know, that's maybe when we can start getting back into Europa League.
Do you think that's going to happen? Because it's been coming for 4 years, maybe.
Well, it's funny, the timing. It's every Christmas. Last year, it was with Amanda Staveley, who's, again, you see these links that Chris, us and Liverpool have, because she was trying to buy used, wasn't she? And we thought it was happening. She was in the curry house, and yes, Ashley's going. And now it's Peter Kenyon. For me, the way I look at it, until he's pictured somewhere in that ground, that's when I'll start to believe it. The timing is very, very Mike Ashley-esque, and I'm hopeful, but I'm very, very cautious whatever Mike Ashley says.
Yeah, I can imagine you would be. Well, let's get back onto the football then. From an opposition standpoint, if we were to try and beat Newcastle, what's the best way for us? Where's the weak links in this Newcastle side? Is it literally just that they're not scoring enough goals, Lee?
We don't score enough goals. You could this is no joke. You probably play one at the back. You're really, really good. I don't think we'll threaten you defensively much. I think you'll probably play a lot higher up. The ball's going to be in our opposition. That's what we're going to set up. It's frustrating because we're coming a long way as fans. We're watching this kind of football, but we can understand the broader picture. I think we'll try as much as possible. These will have all the ball. These have all the shots. If we can get into half-time drawn, I'll probably take that and just hope that we can hang on. But it's a huge disaster because you guys are absolutely flying, absolutely scoring goals left, right and centre. It's a massive ask to try and keep a clean sheet. And I think if we score to try and win the game, we can't just score once. I think we've got to score twice minimum.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, Liverpool have been built on this season, really. That solid defence. I think it's been about 20-something games since we've conceded 2 in a league game. And Virgil van Dijk, it's been talked about so much about how much he's made a difference to that back line, but the goalkeeper's made a difference as well. He fills them with confidence. Flip side, who are the danger men that we need to look out for from Newcastle United?
Rondon, he's scoring goals of late. We thought it would happen, it would eventually come. The thing I like about him is Rondon, being in the Newcastle side, you get 1 or 2 chances per game, that's it. And he's taking those chances, hence why we're picking up points. Whereas, like you guys, like Mo Salah might have 5, 6 opportunities, whereas Rondon just got to have 1 or 2. We've got to put it away, and he needs to keep that up. You will have to, set pieces? That's where we're strong at. Stop the crosses. We take a lot of corners short and try and whip it back in. I think that's where we're going to be trying to hope the set pieces, try and get the supply to Rondon. And what we will do is we'll try and play on the counter. We'll expect Edlin to come back in at right back, and maybe Kennedy might play at left wing back. I'm not confident with him. I think Dummett will probably come in, but we'll try and hit you on pace. And I expect Atsu to start and try and just hit you on the counter.
Okay, cool. All right, mate. Well, anyone watching this now, if you want to watch the preview that I'm doing with Lee, go over to Newcastle Fans TV. That will be up there as well, so you can check that out. And obviously the post-match content will be there, Newcastle, from the Newcastle perspective. After the game, you're coming up to Anfield as well, aren't you, mate? So it's a long drive on Boxing Day.
2 trips in 3 weeks as we're down at Woodison, as I was saying earlier on. But yeah, so we know the area pretty well.
Yeah, well, at least you know where to park and where to have a pint now then, mate, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks very much for joining us. Don't forget to check out the preview over on Lee's channel. And like the video, subscribe to the Redmen TV if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time. Ta-ra.